What's going on, guys? It's Wafers, and welcome back to the Newport County Road to Glory Career Mode. It's episode 29, and today we are going to be wrapping up the transfer window and playing some more games in the championship. Taking a look at the table after 5 games, we are sitting in 4th place, off to a pretty good start. We have 12 points, 4 wins, and 1 loss. We also have the most goals in the division, which is always nice to see. Now, as we're getting closer to the end of the transfer window, we're going to be getting some more offers. Here we have one for Ibrahim Marsh. It's a swap deal. I'm going to reject that. Marsh is going to be going nowhere. He's a building block for the future. And then we have Henry Akujobi, and I get an offer for him. He's actually one of the center backs I'm not looking to sell. I'm looking to sell a lot of the older ones. I don't really want to sell him. I considered it. It's a decent offer, but I'm going to end up rejecting it. I want to keep him. He's young. He's only 19 years old, and he will keep getting better. So into this first game, we are going to be playing Sunderland in the Carabao Cup. We are hosting them at the Rodney Parade in round 2. And 10 minutes into the game, we would come forward, broadhead down this right-hand side. He's going to stop, play it back in. Henry Owen with a nice ball roll and shot near post to put us up 1-0. I gave him the start in this one. I played a full backup side in this game, and we ended up going up 1-0 pretty early. Now in the 60th minute, they would get a goal off of a corner. A very nice header past our keeper there, but we would come back with 5 minutes to go in the game. Castellón looking for someone to feed. He finds Broadhead, back to Castellón into Jenkins. He's going to finish it to put us up 2-1 and restore our advantage over Sunderland with only a couple minutes left to go in the game. We would end up holding on in this one, and we would beat Sunderland 2-1 in the second round of the Carabao Cup. We will be advancing to the next one. After that, we figure out that Donnelly has been sold. He is, I think, our second or third player to be sold, which is always nice to see. We're trying to make sure the squad is a little more thin, so selling another player definitely helps. Into our next game, we are playing in the championship, hosting Cardiff City at the Rodney Parade. We would come forward 20 minutes into the game. Telford's going to find Collins, who got the start in this one. He feeds Marsh back into Telford, and he would finish this to give us an early 1-0 advantage. Our goal scoring form in the league continues, and we would come forward again 15 minutes after the restart. Hopkins comes down this right side. He's going to get the ball back from Sheehan, and he's able to keep it in with a nice touch, works his way into the box, and a left-footed finesse shot into the corner to double our advantage. He is on an absolute tear to start the season. We saw he scored a bunch of goals last episode, and he is adding to his tally there. We pick up a 2-0 win against Cardiff City to add 3 points to our early tally. Now into transfer deadline day, and we would get an offer for Scott Bennett, which I immediately accept. Hopefully we can get rid of him. We go to a little bit later in the day, and we see that, yes, Scott Bennett has been sold. It is confirmed. Another player leaving the squad. As we continue on through transfer deadline day, we get an offer for Alex Wynn. It's £1.5 million, but I am not interested in selling him at all. It's actually Cardiff City who come in for him, who we just beat, and we reject that one. We also get an offer for Dom Telford, and we will be rejecting that as well. This is the biggest offer we've gotten for Telford from Malmo, actually, and that was all that happened for us during the transfer window. Just taking a look at some of the sales and purchases throughout the league, there were some teams that spent some money. You can see a couple teams brought in players around £5 to £8 million. A lot of teams brought in no players, especially the lower teams. Brought in really no one. You can see we were able to sell 3 players and get close to £1 million. But I think we should still be able to compete. Our squad was pretty locked in. We were just trying to sell some dead wood. And we do have some money left over for the January transfer window if we need it. So I think we're in a pretty good spot going forward. Now we have a couple squad spots in case some of our youth academy players get unsettled, or we decide that we want to just promote them if we want them to be in the squad. So I think we're in a good spot going forward, and we'll see where we're at come January, and maybe we can bring in someone if we're looking to maybe make a run at a playoff spot or something like that. So into these scouting reports, we have a couple players here that look pretty interesting, including Douglas Robertson, who I am going to sign, and then Lucas McKenzie we're going to leave there because he's a goalkeeper. And I just want to see more detailed prediction on his stats before we end up signing him. And into our last scouting report here with Bryn Bowen. And there's not really much here at all. This was a pretty bad scouting report from him. Not one good player out of this one, but it happens sometimes. So heading into our youth academy, you can see what we have right here. We have some really good looking prospects, including Tony Morgan. He's been there for a while. He looks good. We have Stephen Gilchrist, also looks good as a center back option. I'm really excited for Lloyd Nill. I think Lloyd Nill could possibly come up in the second half of the season and contribute. Sheehan is pretty capped on his growth. He's at 69 overall. He's not really going to get any higher than that. And Lloyd Nill is 63 overall, and he's 17 years old. Looks like he'll have a decent potential. If he's showing great potential, that would be, obviously it would give him a higher potential than Sheehan. We might see him come up in the second half of the season, depending on where we are in the table. After that, we figure out that Alan Donaghy wants to be called up. Now, we do have a couple spots available. As you can see, we have 50 players in the squad. We have 2 spots available, so I do promote him so that we don't lose him. He looks like he could be a decent player. Into the next game for this episode, we are headed to England to take on Sheffield Wednesday. And once again, we would come forward early in the game. This time, Moss feeding Telford. He's going to find Hopkins on this right-hand side, and it's another finesse shot across goal. He is just really liking those finesse shots from cutting in and then finessing it around the keeper. It's working out really well, and we're definitely seeing a breakout season for Hopkins in this one. But Sheffield Wednesday would come forward later in the game around the 60th minute. They end up breaking us down and get behind our defense. Patterson will finish this one, and that is how it would end. We leave with a draw, which isn't too bad. I'll take a draw going to England. And after that, we're outside the transfer window, but we get an offer for Jack Evans. So I end up accepting it immediately. And right after that, we get an offer for Dolan. Both these players are on the transfer list, and we're outside the transfer window. It's pretty interesting to me that now we're getting offers for them, and we didn't get them while we were actually in the transfer window. But I'm going to accept both of them, and we'll see if we can sell them and get some, and free up some more space in the squad in January. Into this game against Nottingham Forest, and we would get it started really, really early. Within the first 5 minutes, Telford puts us up 1-0 with a nice finish across keeper, just using his pace to get him behind, and then he has that deadly accurate strike on him. But Nottingham Forest would not be discouraged. They come forward. Kafu ends up finishing this one with a nice, powerful strike into the top right corner, and they would look to get the lead only 10 minutes later. As they come forward, it ends up with Lolly. He avoids the tackle of Haynes and then finishes it to give Nottingham Forest the 2-1 advantage. However, coming out of the break, we would come forward looking to get ourselves level. Marsh running through the midfield, trying to find someone to play it to. He finds Broadhead, and Broadhead is able to put that one top of bins. Just a great strike from Broadhead. He was, he hasn't been super involved since coming in and filling in for Bennett, but he has a great strike there. And then with 15 minutes to go, we come forward looking for a winner. Telford is going to hold up the ball, feed Hopkins. Hopkins cuts inside, and what a strike. The left-footed finesse shot from the top of the box. This is an absolute beauty from Hopkins. What a strike this is. We're going to take another look at this one so you guys can see just how good of a shot this is. To give us the lead in this game, a real back and forth game. He just curls it over the keeper and into the corner. We win the game 3-2 over Nottingham Forest. Really tough game, really competitive one. I really enjoyed that we were able to get the win out of that. So after that game, you will have seen that Jack Evans is going to be sold in January. We did agree, so he will be leaving the club in January. And we also get an offer for Tom King, one of our backup goalkeepers, and we go in and negotiate with Nashville because I don't want a player. I just want the money. They end up accepting the evaluation bid of £400,000. So Tom King will also be leaving us in January. We have a slight change in schedule. Since we beat Sunderland in the second round of the Carabao Cup, we now have a Carabao Cup game to play as the final one in this episode, and we are up against Man City. I played a backup side in this one because it's the Carabao Cup, and I was just trying to hold on the entire game. We had no chances. We were able to hold on until the 80th minute before Gabriel Jesus comes forward and slots that one past Townsend in order to give them a 1-0 lead. And then 2 minutes before the end of the game, they would come forward again. Jesus feeding Kevin De Bruyne, and he hits the post, but Sterling is there to mop it up, and we lose to Man City. To be honest, I got dominated in this game, had no chances going forward, was just trying to hold on, but it's an expected loss. Beating Man City will take some time. We're going to have to get to the Prem before we can try to do that. 9 games into the season, and we are in 4th place, 20 points. Pretty excited about that. 9 games. I wasn't expecting us to be at the 20-point mark yet, but I'm really excited for our start to the season, how everything's going so far, and hopefully as we continue to progress, we can continue to keep our form up and really just, have a great first season in the championship. But that is going to be it for this episode of the Newport County Road to Glory Career Mode. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to drop a like on the video. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and subscribe if you are new, and I'll catch you guys soon with a new episode.